Greetings, lovely citizens from beautiful Invictus halls in 4.1.1 PTU. Qutatron here. Exactly 1 year ago, I published my first Star Citizen video, testing delivery contracts in 3.23 patch. Hello, welcome in Qutatron Gaming in Star Citizen, new update 3.23. Let's place it. But we check it in the moment. Okay. My mission is complete. Terrible sound quality, no editing, only 92 views. In theory, I could have given up then. But here we are with slightly less tragic production quality, which improves from time to time, and I really want to thank you for being with me. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have desire to record all these videos across the last year. Okay, enough of this sentimental nonsense. We have new ship stats to check out, so let's jump to Erkl.games. Okay, let's start with Anvil Asgard, the ship I am definitely waiting for. So, what we have here, the stats are the most important thing. As we see, SCM speed 203 meters per second, boosted 425 meters per second, SCM boost backwards 240 meters per second, and maximum nav speed 1075 meters per second. Let's compare it to the Valkyrie, because this is another very similar ship, and I don't see any speeds here in 4.1.1 PTU in Erkl. So maybe we jump to the ship performance viewer. Okay, here we are, and as we see, Valkyrie is only slightly faster than Asgard and have slightly better pitch, yaw and roll. So very similar ships. Asgard is of course bigger. This is a vehicle transport ship with outstandingly big cargo hold. What is very interesting, Valkyrie couple of weeks ago acquired a nice buff to the cargo grid. Valkyrie right now have 90 SCU of cargo, which is great, and 4.5 SCU of storage combined in 4 inventory lockers. Asgard, I don't see here any storage lockers, but I'm assuming that Asgard will have the same storage lockers as Valkyrie, but have 180 SCU of cargo. And because it have very big cargo hold, we probably can put inside even more of cargo, which is great because, you know, Asgard as vehicle transport ship can be also pretty nice cargo ship. Very good for running hauling contracts, which is great. Now let's check out weapons and components. Okay, here we are in Erkl.games again, and as we see, if we're talking about pilot-controlled weapons, we have 6 Panther repeaters in Asgard, which is very, very nice. 1176 sustained DPS, burst DPS over 3000. I'm very curious how much we can have if we install here Ardor 3 repeaters, the most powerful guns, if we're talking about size 3. Yeah, 2.6 thousand sustained DPS and over 5,000 burst DPS. Pretty nice. For a transport ship, of course. We have fighters with bigger DPS, to be honest, especially burst DPS, but it's still very nice. And on top of this, we have one missile rack on top with 16 size 3 missiles. This is bespoke missile rack, so you can't change the size of the missiles, unfortunately, but at least it's looking cool. And we have additional manned turret with 2 Rhino repeaters, and we can swap it, for example, for attrition, for laser repeaters. Lovely, very nice armament, especially for pilot, so this ship will be definitely more soloable than Valkyrie. Valkyrie have slightly less DPS for pilot. Let's check it out. Let's put here Ardor 3 and Attrition 4. Pilot can control 2 size 4 side turrets and 2 size 3 guns. Sustained and burst DPS, it's not really so low, but lower than in Asgard. But on top of this, Valkyrie have also 2 manned turrets with 2 size 3 guns each, but no missiles. Alright, let's look at the HP. Asgard have 77,000 HP. The most important parts is, of course, nose with 20,000, tail with 20,000, and that's all. Valkyrie have much more HP. It's more tanky than Asgard. And for nose and tail have 25,000 HP, which is reasonable. Valkyrie is dropship. It needs to be very tanky. Asgard is definitely different type of dropship because you unload only one tank, for example, or other heavy ground vehicle from the back and you are good to go. Probably this ship don't need so much HP, and I'm sure that most of players will use Asgard as a daily driver slash cargo runner. Maybe it will be very useful for bounty hunting and getting stuff, but I don't think so because still Connie and Corsair have much more firepower. I would use Asgard as my little mobile base because of huge cargo hold, and maybe I will have opportunity to slab there, for example, Pisces rescue or something like this. You know, I want to transport small ship inside of the Asgard. Let's check out components. We have 4 size 2 shields, 2 size 2 power plants and 3 size 2 coolers. Almost the same component loadout like in Valkyrie. The one difference is coolers, because Valkyrie have only 2 size 2 coolers, Asgard have 3. Let's look at the Guardian MX. And Guardian MX unfortunately is built different, because have slightly bigger DPS, more shields, but unfortunately don't have inside too much storage and don't have inside even bed to log out. And in my opinion, selling point of Guardian series is interior. Because if we want purely combat spacecraft, we just can buy F7C in-game or wait for F7A to arrive in the pledge store. This is the much better choice if you want to have combat ship in PvE and PvP. But let's look at the stats. And here we are in ship viewer again. Let's look at the total HP. Guardian MX have 89,000 HP. This is huge, but for main body only 8,000. If we compare it to the Mirai Guardian standard one, we have 69,000 HP for total health points and 7,000 HP for main body. So MX version is more tanky. Is also little bit slower, little bit less maneuverable. Unfortunately, the standard Guardian is sluggish and not maneuverable at all, because it's heavy fighter, so a Guardian MX is even less maneuverable. But let's compare it to F8C Lightning. More HP for main body, but less total HP. But if we're talking about maneuverability, it's pretty similar to the Guardian MX. But F8C Lightning have even more DPS than Guardian MX. But let's check out other things. As we see, carrying capacity only little storage for 450k micro SCU. This is probably only external storage on one of the wings, which is not really good. Standard Guardian have bigger storage because we have additional locker inside, around the bed. Let's jump to Aircool.games again because I want to compare weapons and DPS better. I think it will be looking better on video, as we see having 4 size 4 weapons, which is pretty nice. 4 size 4 weapons. In this case, Rhino repeaters, we have almost 1,600 sustained DPS and over 3,000 of burst DPS. Comparing it to the standard Guardian, I installed here 2 size 5 Galderines. To be more accurate, we have only 1,300 sustained DPS and almost 2,500 DPS, if we're talking about burst DPS. And as we see, Guardian MX and standard Guardian will have some problems with power distribution, because I can't understand why we need so much pips for engines in these fighters. You can't even fill up these engines without sacrificing almost everything. Look at this. You can't even have full power to the shield to fill up maximum engine output in standard Guardian. And in MX version is even worse because we have here 2 size 2 shields. So this is a problem, this is a big problem in my opinion. Definitely CIG need to lower amount of pips for engines, at least for free. Next ship to check out is Starlancer TAC. As we know, this ship have everything. Lot of turrets, lot of firepower, medbay, little hangar for Fury Snapfighter, nice cargo bay. So this ship have definitely everything if we're talking about a multi-crew / daily driver stuff. It can be a real little mobile base, which is totally awesome. But let's check out the stats and let's compare it to the standard MISC Starlancer Max. Okay, here we are in ship viewer because I really wanted to check out maneuverability and speed, and as we see, Starlancer TAC will be very, very slow. Even slower than Starlancer Max, which is outraging right now, and which makes me feel that Starlancer TAC is definitely not ship for me. Starlancer Max is so slow that I can't stand flying in this ship, really, especially in SCM mode. And TAC is even slower, 110 meters per second. What is this? It's literally mobile base because I can't even name it as a real ship. Look at this, even Polaris is faster. Even Polaris have 145 meters per second in SCM mode. So I don't really understand why Starlancer series is so slow. Okay, but let's look at the maneuverability. 27, 27, 60 is really clumsy, even less maneuverable than Starlancer Max, which is very, very clumsy ship. But let's look at the HP. Starlancer Max have 35,000 HP and Starlancer Max have 84,000 HP. In total 35 for body, and Max have 160,000 HP in total and 38,000 HP for body. So it's a tank. And on top of this, Starlancer TAC have 2 size 3 shields. Okay, let's look at the cargo. 96 SCU on the back of the ship for Starlancer TAC. We can cram there even more, of course. Hydrogen and quantum fuel tank is pretty nice, but Starlancer TAC is not a cargo ship, is all-rounder, is your mobile platform for doing missions, and especially if you want to have very good dropship, because it's so tanky and have big ass size 5 turrets on each side. I think it will be one of the better dropships, especially you have vehicle bay, you have drop seats there, you have snap fighters inside. This could be very versatile platform for example, Hathor locations or something else. At least if you don't find any Polaris or a squadron of Hornets, because you will be cooked. But for PvE combat, in my opinion, Starlancer TAC will be very good. And now let's look at the DPS and let's look at the components in Aircool.games. If we're talking about pilot weapons, we have 4 size 4 weapons like in Starlancer Max. We have 8 size 2 missiles. For other crew we have 2 remote turrets, 2 size 4 guns each. Another 2 manned turrets, 2 size 5 guns each. This is the side turrets. And we have additional missile racks on the back, 16 size 3 turrets each. Components: 2 size 3 shields, 1 size 3 power plants, 1 size 3 cooler, and 1 size 2 quantum drive. So, please tell me in the comment what do you think about Starlancer TAC. It's definitely not ship for me because of speed, but everything else I love. Greycat MTC is very interesting creation. It's probably smaller than Ursa Rover, but have some interior with gun racks, with turret with 2 size 2 guns. It can be very good alternative to Ursa Rover. Okay, after actualization, what is the most important thing for me is dimensions. We have 6 meter wide, if we're talking about MTC, and this is the same wideness like in Ursa Rover, but still I want to check out MTC when it goes live and we will be able to rent it, because I think this little ship is little bit smaller than Ursa, and maybe it will fit in the Zeus, Atlas or Spirit C1. If it will fit, it will be very great stuff, to be honest. It will be very good ground vehicle to have, because it will be the one and only vehicle with pilot operational guns on top. If we're talking about ground vehicles that can fit in, for example, Atlas series. But looking at these dimensions, I don't think so. But looking at the pictures, I think it's possible because MTC have much smaller wheels and have only one driver on the front, and Ursa is very wide vehicle with driver and co-pilot and have big ass wheels. So maybe these dimensions are not for whole ship, maybe they are only for chassis without wheels. I don't know, I need to check it out. And let's compare it to the Ursa. As we see, total health point almost 23,000. If we're talking about MTC, Ursa 23,000. Very similar, to be honest. So maybe it's a direct Ursa competitor. Claim time is of course pretty low, only 2 minutes. Expedite time only 32 seconds. So it's faster to claim than Ursa. If we're talking about armaments, we have two size 2 Badger repeaters on top. I could swap it for attritions definitely. You don't need fast hitting guns on the ground vehicle, to be honest. And Ursa have only size 1 Bulldog repeaters. We can't swap it for anything bigger than size 1 guns. It's not a big deal, to be honest, because these guns are useful only to shoot some NPCs on the ground right now. But it's worth to notice that Greycat MTC have bigger guns than Ursa Rover and have one size 0 shield and one size 0 power plant. Ursa have the same components. But if we're talking about interior, from leaks I know that MTC have nice amount of gun racks, have 2 armor lockers, and as we see there is a little storage, 750k micro SCU, which is not really bad. You can take a reasonable amount of loot from bunkers or Hathor facilities. But standard Ursa Rover have bigger storage and have hatch on the back, and you can even slap there 2 SCU box, so Ursa is much better for looting. And on top of this we can buy in-game Ursa Medivac with medical bed inside, which is very nice. With even bigger storage for your loot, 2.4k micro SCU, this is huge. So Ursa Medivac, still in my opinion the best ground vehicle if we're talking about bigger ones, but we still need to check it out in live. So please stay tuned, please subscribe. If I will be able to test Greycat MTC, I definitely do a video trying to fit this vehicle in various ships. And that's all for today. Please tell me in the comment what do you think about new ships in upcoming 4.1.1 patch. Do you are excited? Or maybe you are not. If you want to help this channel to grow, please check out pinned comment. And as always, thanks for watching, have a great day, and bye bye.
Improving the pilot experience, more so than any other manufacturer. The reps and engineers are a common fixture at the Academy and Naval Bases to try and get first-hand accounts of what works and what doesn't.